welcome back to thecrochetcrowd.com. I'm your host Mikey, and in today's tutorial we're going to explore the Laguna Beach Slouchy made of cotton. This is Schachenmayr yarn. It's called Boston Sun, and this is really amazing. So I have a free pattern for you. I'll provide that in the link in the more information. And today I'm going to take you through some of the tips because I'm going to tell you how to be able to alter this size. So if you want to make it for a different size head, or if the pattern is not fitting your head properly, I'm going to tell you the secret on how to be able to make it work for you. So let's start and decipher the pattern right now. So let's examine this pattern a little more carefully, and here we have the mannequin's head, and she's a little bit too small for this hat. This hat is an adult size, and I'm going to tell you how to be able to do this in child size if you want to. So the secret is within the band itself. If you keep everything in sets of 4 and you're trying it onto your forehead at the time of making the first chain, this will fit you. So for example, when you go to do your chain, you go 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Get it to a width that you think that it's going to be. Try it onto your head before making the final ring, and then you'll be able to get it to work. If you keep it in sets of 4, what's going to happen is that all of these patterns right here are all going to align with each other and then make complete sense. So what we have here is that you can substitute the hook, you could substitute the yarn, as long as you keep the stitches in groups of 4 or sets of 4, it'll be successful every time. So just for kicks today, I already have one sample, so why not do another sample in a different color combination. I'm using the Boston Sun here. It's 50% cotton and 50% acrylic, and I'm using a size 5mm or size H crochet hook, but as I mentioned before, you can substitute anything in order to make this pattern work for you. So you have to decide what is your main color, and you know what, pink is my choice, my company's choice. So let's start off with the pink to be our main color for the headband. So I'm going to start off with pink, create a slip knot, and get started just like this. So what I want to do is that I told you that I want to keep it in sets of 4. So I'm going to say the designer's asking you to do a chain of 96, but what I would strongly recommend, because the gauge size will matter, remember with your crochet it'll never shrink on your head, so if it's too big in the very beginning it's never going to get smaller. So we go, so remember the first one never counts as 1, so we go 1 2 3 and 4. There's 1 set, and then 1 2 3 and 4, 2 sets, 1 2 3 and 4, and I'm going to keep doing that, and I'm going to put that around my forehead and then get to the size that I need. As long as I keep it in chains of 4 like that, it's going to work out every time. So now I'm ready to attach it. So here's the length of my chain. So what I need to do is that I need to chain it or attach it so that the chain is not twisting. So I'm just going to look for it, run my hands across so that the stitching looks consistent, so it's not like twisting and twisting and twisting, and I want to do it like that. And so I'm just getting it ready, so now I can attach it to the very first one like that. Okay, so we just stick it into the first chain, and then we grab our yarn and pull through both to join, and now we have a permanent ring. Now you will notice on the instructions that this designer, it's actually not the designer's fault. It's actually just the way the pattern is written, and this is a standard, but it's not standard for North America. So what we have here is that it says just to do, says work 3 rounds of single crochet. So normally in a pattern you would say chain up 1, single crochet, blah blah blah. So I'm going to tell you North America wise what you need to do. So here we go. We're going to chain 1 first. Okay, it doesn't say to do that, it just says to put single crochets all the way around. What I want you to do then is that I want you to create a beautiful border around the bottom of it, and to do that is that you want to chain so that you're on the back of the loop. So this is where your chain right here, turn it over and get the first back one. That's so just 1 loop only, and then a single crochet like that. So then we go to the next back one. So once you turn it over once and get the first one, the chain will naturally turn over on itself, and then all I want you to do is just single crochet into the back of all of the humps as you're going all the way around. So please do that. When we come back I'll show you what to do next. Okay, once you come all the way back around, remember that you've already chained up 1, so this is what this appears at this point. You're simply just going to want to slip it to where you've done the chain 1 to begin with, and slip stitch it together. Also make sure that your chain is not twisted at this time. So okay, so it should look like this. So let's begin to move up to the next row. So to do the next row we're just going to chain one and then coming into the same stitch right underneath so that it keeps it nice and tight, is that you're going to do a single crochet in that stitch and then all of the stitches all the way around. So continue to single crochet all the way around, and I'll meet you back up in just a moment. And once you get all the way back around, please slip stitch again into the beginning to make that complete. So we just have to do one more round of that. So we're going to chain one again to the same stitch that you just did that in, and then single crochet again all the way around one last time, and then we're going to start working on the pattern that you see in the original of this graphic. So then we're gonna start working on the pattern that you've seen right at the beginning of this video. So I'm just going to slip stitch it now to the beginning that we have and ready to go. So the band here is the same color as the starting off of the pattern. So we're going to keep this color on. So it says to chain three, so three chain, 1, 2 and 3, and it says to 2 double crochets. So in the next stitch you're going to double crochet, and the next stitch you're going to double crochet. So that chaining of 3 in the rules of crochet acts as a double crochet, so there'll be what appears to be 3 of them. You're going to chain 1 and then skip 1 down on the line and 3 double crochets into the next, and you're going to repeat that all the way around. So because you kept your stitches in groups or in the 4, this is where it's coming from, is that you got 1, 2, 3, here's the skip 4, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and so that is your 4. So if you understand this pattern and being able to manipulate it like that, it'll work out for you every time. Now if you're doing a child size, you should just be aware that the length of it or the height of it going down from the forehead downward will just be smaller if you're doing a child size, but you can be able to judge that as you go. So continue to 3 double crochet in a row and then followed by a chain 1, and then keep doing that all the way around. When you get all the way back around, you're just going to simply chain 1 and then join it to the top of the beginning chain 3. So I'm ready now to start another row, and to start another row once I've already done the slip stitch is that I just want to begin to chain up 3. So 1, 2 and 3, and I'm still using the same color, and then we just immediately are just going to follow exactly what you already see. So if you have a double crochet here, it'll be double crochet there. Okay, so this whole round is like this. So here is the gap, so you're going to chain 1, skip over the same gap, and then go into the next one over on the other side. So just continue to do that all the way around for this. Every round uses 2 colors, or sorry, every one color has 2 rounds I should say, and it makes it really easy to follow. So chain 1 and just follow exactly what you're seeing below. When we get back around, we're going to slip stitch and then fasten off this color and bring on the new one. So I'm all the way back around, and I just want to do a chain 1. So I've done my 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then we're going to slip it to the top of the beginning. And what I want you to do is then just to fasten off that, and we're going to weave in our ends, and then we're going to start off. But I'm going to show you a little tip on the project before we continue. So when we look at the sample here, what's happening is that we have 2 rounds of the same color. And one color looks a little bit different than the other, and that's because the fact is that one is coming down. So now that we've established 2 rows of it sitting on top of each other, we're now going to start playing with this sunken double crochet coming down. And when we come down, we're not only going down past the actual point of the first row, but we're going to come down and grab it around this hole, and we're going to do an extended loop when we go to do that. You will notice then, so you have these holes that are right here, these are now falling directly in the middle. So when you go to look at this particular project here, is that these are the holes here, is that it's gonna have, so you're gonna be in this one, hole, and this one, and so you're gonna be operating in these 3. In order to go down, we're gonna sink all the way down here, and then again it's just the edges, so it allows it to make it look like it's staggering. So let's begin our next process. Okay, to begin we are going to create a slip knot, and I want you to insert your hook. So this is where I slip stitched right here. I want you to come back 1, come right over top of this last post that you did, insert the hook and grab the yarn and pull through like that. And I want to chain 1, or I want to chain 3, sorry. So I'm going to go 1, 2 and 3. So that in the rules of double crochet is counting as a double crochet. So what we have here is that we need to do a lower sunken double crochet first. So what we're going to do is that we're just gonna wrap the hook, go down, not only this one but to the second one down, okay, and we want to grab the yarn from the other side and pull up. And you want to get established that you're gonna pull up so that you're not compressing everything completely down, but you have this beautiful line that's sinking down. And then you're going to finish the double crochet off as normal. So you just have to get your feel for making this loop. The next stitch is then in the top of the next post that's on the other side of the gapping. So that one's where we did our slip stitching, and maybe a little awkward to get to, as you can see. And that's because it's all nice and tight in there, and that's a normal double crochet. So then we chain one. Okay, so we immediately skip the middle double crochet of the 3 and double crochet into the next one, which will be the last one of that set. And then we come down and we go to the lower one. So we're gonna wrap, go all the way down, grab the yarn from the back, pull up, try to make them all consistent, and then pull through 2 and 2. And then go in and double crochet into the next post on the next group of 3. So I'll review that one more time. So chain 1, okay, and we're going to skip to the last group, the last of the group of the double crochet. We're going to do a sunken one, so down into the gap, pull up, pull through 2 and 2, and then come into the next post. So continue that all the way around, and I'll show you what to do next. When you get all the way back around, make sure you do chain your 1 and then join it to the top of the beginning of the chain 3 over on the other side to bring it to conclusion. So we are going to do this color one more time. So we immediately chain up 3, 1, 2 and 3, and we double crochet into each of the next 2, and we match the gap. So okay, so here's the gap, so we chain 1 and then we just double crochet into the next 3 double crochets. So this is just like you've already know before, just match exactly what you see. You just don't have to do the sunken in element at this time. So chain 1, jump over to the next. So continue that and we'll come back and we'll start the next color back again. So we're now all the way back around. We're going to chain 1 and then slip stitch it to the top at the beginning, chain 3, and we are now finished this color for this time. So let's fasten that off. We're gonna weave in our ends, and then I'm gonna come back and introduce the next color. Plus I'm gonna give you some tips because this yarn is different than the one in the sample. This yarn is thicker, so therefore you have to adjust, and if you're doing a kid size anyway, you're gonna want to know this information. So I'm pulling out my handy dandy tape measure to measure. So in the original pattern, what's gonna happen here is that the length of the forehead here is about 7 inches before the project starts decreasing at the top. So if you're changing the pattern, so for example it says that I have to do 6 to 18 more, or 6 to 18 rows before getting to that point. Because I have transposed the yarn, you can really clearly see it here, is that there's a huge difference in the length. So the trick is that you can continue to do these rows if you're doing an adults to about 7 inches, and then we start the decreasing row right from that point, and that is row number 19 on the pattern, and then we start decreasing it in. And so it becomes really helpful. So if you're doing a child size, just be very conscientious of this information, because this may be a little bit smaller. You may have maybe 6 inches. Or maybe even 5. It depends. You know, I would try it on a kid as you're going, but this is a great way to be able to customize your project for you. So let's begin to take on that second color once again, and we're going to join it back in. And again, just like I explained to you before, this is dipping down in the middle of the 2 groups here. So what we want to do is that when we start this one, we want to come backward to the one that we've already just did. Okay, the last post that we just did, I'm going to create a slip knot, and I come into the last post that I just created before doing the slip stitch. Let's bring on our new yarn, and then we chain up 3. So 1, 2 and 3, and then the next one is the sunken double crochet. So we just wrap the hook, go down to the second gap, pull up, make that a little bit longer, and then just double crochet as always. And then we come into the next post, Okay, I went into a gap in there. I want to make sure I get the post so that it looks consistent. So we're just going to do a double crochet, and now we're ready to chain one again, and then we come into the next end of that group of 3, double crochet, and then we do a sunken one just like this, sunken double crochet, and then a regular double crochet into the next post or next stitch. So continue to do that. So once you get that all around, you're going to join it, and then you're going to create just like what you've already done here with the blue. And then essentially I want you to get to the point, if you're following the rounds exactly, I want you to either get to your 7 inches in length, and then we're going to start decreasing it at that point to follow the pattern exactly. So I'm at my 7-inch mark from the front of this to here. So now what I want to do is that I want to start another group of one of these. However, I want to make sure that in the second round, so we're going to go around and do the insert deeper, and then the next one is going to be the double crochets. That row here is going to be slightly different in order to start bringing this hat to a conclusion at the top of the head. So with this one here, I've just again started off as I normally would, and so this entire round is going to be what you already know, with just doing the deeper in the middle and then just putting in your double crochet next, and then chain 1, and then just continue to follow already what you know. So when we come back, I'll slip stitch, and then I'll show you what to do at that point. So I'm now all the way back around, and make sure I chain 1 before attaching, and now this time we are going to do it slightly different. So now we're going to start bringing it in toward the top of the head. So let's begin. We're going to chain 3, so 1, 2, and 3, and the rules of double crochet. That is a double crochet. So the next 2 are going to be double crochet as you normally would have done. So this row here, we are totally going to be skipping over this area right here, and we are not going to chain 1, and we are just immediately going to double crochet into the next one. So it's going to bring it in more narrow. So essentially every 4 here, you're eliminating out 1 stitch to bring it to conclusion. This draws in really quickly on the top. So I was just about to chain 1 again. I'm not going to, and I'm just going to simply just double crochet as I'm going all the way around. So double crochet into every round, skipping that middle one and just not applying a chain in between. So continue to do that all the way around. When you come all the way back around, we're not going to chain 1 before doing the slip stitch. We're just going to join it to the beginning of the top of the chain 3. So you can see that just seriously brought everything more narrower in. And so let's begin our next color. We're going to fasten this off. When we come back, I'll have the new color on and ready to do another round with you. Okay, we're going to start here, and this is where I did my slip stitch. I'm going to come to the middle one of the group of 3, just right there. I'm going to create a slip knot, attach it on, and pull through. And in the rules of double crochet, chaining 3 is a double crochet. So 1, 2, and 3, and that'll get you started. And then simply just come to the gapping spaces there and do your deeper. So deeper double crochet. Let me try that again. So just coming down. I've become really relaxed with this stitch, so that's why it's kind of snapping off. And then I want to come to the middle of the next group of 3 to do a double crochet like that. So let's go to the next gapping space, right down, okay, and then to the middle of the next 3, and we want to continue to do that all the way around. Okay, so come to the next gap and then double into the middle. So continue to do that all the way around. Okay, I've come all the way back around, finished off with the deeper one because I'm in the middle here. Just join it to the top at the beginning of the chain 3, and let's just simply, it says to work double crochet all the way around, but we have to start off with the chain 3 first, and then just 1 double crochet into each of the double crochets going all the way around for this particular round. And when we come back, we'll be changing color once again and moving on to getting closer to finishing today's project. So I've come all the way back around. You can see the top is getting a lot more narrower, and I just want to join this with the slip stitch to the beginning of the top and fasten that off, and then get on our another color to finish. So we're about to start the next round, and so the deeper ones here are getting closer together here. So the deeper will come on one side or the other depending on what you want to do with this particular project. So what we need to do is that we're going to fasten on the yarn, okay, right where you've done the slip stitch. So just the one before is actually okay too. You just have to be consistent when you're going all the way around. Just join it and attach, and we're going to chain 3, which counts as double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. So we need to come down and we need to do the deeper one again. So we're just gonna come down, and I'm gonna come down into the gapping space right on the first side there, just like you see, and then I'm going to double crochet then basically the next one right here. Okay, so then my next double is gonna come down, and then I'm gonna come down to the next one. So I always want to make sure that these are coming down in the same spot. So down, down. So I'm going to skip this stitch here and just double crochet the next. Okay, so I just want to continue to be consistent. Okay, so I'm going to skip 1 stitch, go to the second for double, and then come down the other side and continue to do that all the way around. So I've come all the way back around. I finished with the deeper one here. This is the middle of the next one here where we joined, and let's just join it with a slip stitch just like so. So we want to begin to chain up 3, so 1, 2, and 3, and we want to do a double crochet in every other stitch. So we're going to skip the first one, go to the second for a double, and we're really going to start really pulling this in. So we're going to skip the next one and double into the next, and continue to do that all the way around. Okay, we're going to finish this round, and we're just going to join it to the top of the beginning of the chain 3. And now this is when it's really easy. We just have a little slot left, and what I want you to do is just physically divide it in half. So because I've altered the pattern in many ways of changing the yarn, just divide it in half, and then you can just do a really easy job at this point. We're just going to immediately single crochet into the first one and single crochet all the way halfway across. Okay, sorry, crochet all the way across, so it'd be half of the ring. Okay, that's why I've had you divide it in half, like so. And once you get halfway across, or you get all the way across, it says to slip stitch from the inside everything together. So what I want you to do is that I want you to pull the yarn through like this, and I want you to turn it inside out, and we are going to grab the yarn from the inside. Okay, and I can see this is where I've done the single crochet, and what I want to do is that I want to slip stitch everything together. Okay, so basically I'm going to fold it in half and then go in one side and go in the other and pull through. Okay, the next stitch, the next stitch. And if you don't have the equal number of stitches, this is where you can fake it a little bit, right? So you don't have to be too bang on. So we're just putting everything together so the seam is on the inside of the hat. And you can see I have some loose ends I need to take care of, which is normal for when you're working on a project for sure. And just continue to slip stitch yourself across. And when you have that done, we're just going to fasten off, weave in our ends, and this hat would be good to go. So I'm now all the way across. Let me just trim this yarn. It's been coming from the other side, and I'm going to trim this yarn, and when I come back I'll have everything basically cleaned up and ready to go. So here is my finished hat. I'm actually really happy with this hat. I think it really turned out really well. You can see it drapes down in the back just perfectly. Look how the colors look. Absolutely happy with that. And this one actually fits me. The other one it fits my assistant Colleen. She has a lot more hair than I do. So if I were to do a slouchy, this would be the one that would fit me the best. So until next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of the crochetcrowd.com. Don't forget to check out these fabulous yarns. They're available in independent marketplaces. And this is called Boston Sun by Schachenmayr. Until next time, we'll see ya.